When I think of a hyperlink, I usually think of the links that you click to move around the World Wide Web. That's the most common way to use a hyperlink, but you can also create links to other files. And in this movie, I will show you how to add a link to a web page or a file in PowerPoint using Excel and Word. The sample file that I'll start in is 0201 page link, and you can download it and the other files that I use in this movie from the links provided in the video description. On the slide, I have some corporate information, and I won't bother reading it to you. Instead, I'll just start by creating a link to my company website. The text that I want to use is TechSoc, T-E-C-H-S-O-C. So I will select that as the base for my link, and then I'll go to the Insert tab of the ribbon and click the body of the link button. That opens the Insert Hyperlink dialog box. You can see the text to display. And then in the address box, which is currently selected, I'll type the URL for my website. That's www.techsoc.com, T-E-C-H-S-O-C.com. You can use any site that you want. And I'll click OK. And there you see that I have a hyperlink. So it's TechSoc, and if I hold down the Control key, the mouse pointer changes to a pointing hand when I'm over the hyperlink, and I'll left click, and that opens my web browser to the index page of techsoc.com. Now I will switch back, or actually I'll minimize my web browser so I'm back in my file. And there's probably one thing you noticed, and that is that TechSoc now has some formatting to it. And if I go up to a slideshow, you can see that it's underlined and is displayed as a followed hyperlink by changing its color. Unfortunately, you aren't able to get rid of all of the formatting changes when you create a hyperlink. So if I select the text and I change the text color to black, then it gets rid of the followed or not followed color, but there is still an underline. And if you're okay with the underline when you're in slideshow mode, which I'll show here, then you're fine. However, if you'd prefer not to have it, and I'll click Escape to move out, then there's a trick that you can use to make the hyperlink invisible. I will select the text, and then in the shortcut menu that appears, I'll click Remove Link. Great, so that's gone. And I can add a shape that has the same hyperlink applied to it. So I will click away and then go up to Shapes, and I will click a rectangle and drag the rectangle over top of the TechSoc text. So there that is, and now I can apply a link to that shape. So I'll right-click, click Link, and then the address will once again be techsoc.com, the URL that you see here in address, and click OK. And now I have the shape, but of course I can't see the text underneath it. There are a couple of things that I need to do. The first thing I'll do is to change the image so its transparency is 100%. So I'll right-click the image, and then Format Shape is at the bottom for me. You might need to scroll down. So I'll click Format Shape, and then over under Shape Options in the Format Shape control panel, I'll click the Fill control to display its details, and I have transparency currently set for 0%. So I'll make that 100. And if I click back in the body of the presentation, I can see the text, but I still have the object's outline. So click Shape Outline, click Shape Format, and change the shape outline to no outline. And now the main website is TechSoc, T-E-C-H-S-O-C. However, if I go to a slideshow, there is no indication that there's a hyperlink there. And if I move my mouse pointer over top, then I do get the pointing hand as well as a tooltip with the address that's about to be followed. If you're in a presentation and you either don't have or don't want to use your mouse, then if you have a touch screen, you can just tap TextSoc and it will open. So I will go ahead and click there. And in my web browser, I get a second instance of the page. So it has no idea that you've already opened it or not. Instead, it just opens it up. So I'll go ahead and click that and minimize and escape to move out. You can also create hyperlinks to other files. I will get rid of the Format Background control panel. And if I want to create a hyperlink to a spreadsheet that is available on my system, either on my computer physically or available over a network, I can select the text and I'll press Control-K. And this is for the revenue report. So I'll click Video Revenue and click OK. So there's my revenue spreadsheet. And I will hold down the Control key and click that. And PowerPoint thinks for a second and opens up the Excel workbook that I linked to. And you can do the same thing for Microsoft Word. And actually, to show you how to create a link to a Word document, I'll do it in Excel. So I have in cell B9 currently no text. I'll type written summary. So I'll create that. There we go, and enter. There we go. And I will summary. There we are. And I will select that cell. And then again, I'll press Control-K. And I will link to the company report. So I'll click that file name and click OK. And I have a clickable hyperlink. And when I click it, Office thinks for a moment and opens the report. And I'll use Alt-Tab to move back to Excel to show you something you can do with formatting for hyperlinks in an Excel workbook. So I currently have cell B9 selected, and on the Home tab, if I click Cell Styles in the Styles group, then I get followed hyperlink and hyperlink as two separate styles. If I want to edit them, then I can right-click. In this case, I'll do followed hyperlink, modify, and I'll click Format, and I'll click Font, and I currently have this color and underline. So if I wanted to change the formatting, I could change the underline to none and the color to black. So I'll go ahead and change it to automatic and change the underlining to none and click OK. Click OK again. And then I will apply it to Cell Styles followed hyperlink. And as you can see, the hyperlink formatting has been taken away. But if I move the mouse pointer over top, it's still clickable. So if I press Alt-Tab, then I can select some text, let's say VPC collaborating. And I just created this text with a large language model, so it doesn't represent any particular company. And I'll press Control-K, and I'll click the Video Revenue workbook and click OK. And the link hasn't been followed yet. So what I will do is I will select the text that has the link, and I will change the font color to black, and then I'll go up and change the underline to none. And when I click away, you can see that it doesn't appear to have a link attached to it. If I move the mouse pointer over top, then I can control-click the text, so I'll control and click, and I go back to my Video Revenue worksheet. And I'll click the Written Summary hyperlink to move back. And now you can see that I have VPC collaborating, and it's been colored as a followed hyperlink. Now, if I select the text by selecting it and change the font color to black, then it stays in this purple state. So you can change the formatting of a hyperlink that hasn't been followed, but you're not able to change the formatting in Word of a hyperlink that has been followed. And of course, if you want, you can use the same shape technique that I showed you earlier. In PowerPoint, it'll work just as well in Word, but in Word, you will tend to have even less of a reminder that a hyperlink is there unless you move your mouse pointer over top and get this preview like you see here. So that's a lot. And there are many different ways that you can use hyperlinks in PowerPoint, Excel, and Word. If you're not worried about the formatting of your text changing, then that's the best case. You can just create them. However, if you want to create hyperlinks that are hidden, then the best way to do it is to create a shape, remove its outline, change its transparency to 100%, and you will have a fully clickable link that does not appear in your presentation or other document.